Okay, so who are you?
My name is Doyle. I am the Director of Global Strategic Sourcing here at Seventh Generation. That means or entails buying of our raw materials, looking into the sustainability of our raw materials, doing everything from fragrance development to working or helping out in some package development projects.
Okay, cool. Um, so, what does seventh generation do in regards to transforming waste into resources as a company?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we do, a couple of years ago, we embarked on a journey to really understand kind of like the true cost of our consumption. So we did a life cycle analysis of our products to really understand where the largest impact of our products were. The largest impact, I think, as I alluded to earlier, is in the use phase for people using warm and/or hot water. The second largest is our primary and secondary packaging. So one of the opportunities that we saw was, we kind of looked at the landscape and tried to understand some of the technologies that were out there to see if we could increase the post-consumer recycled content in our bottles from 25%, which is primarily mandated by California law, upwards to 90%. There's some great examples of that out there, whether it be Aveda Corporation, Burt's Bees, a number of personal care companies that have embraced this and gotten their recycled content upwards of 95%. We want to be the first in the home category to do that, and again, this is a great way to mitigate our CO2 emissions and tell a story. And ultimately, all these initiatives, we have to be able to contextualize those and put them in a story so that consumers can understand what sort of value add they're getting when they buy something branded Seventh Generation.
Great. So, seventh generation is based here in Burlington, Vermont, which is a fantastic place to visit, and I could only imagine to live as well. What is the biggest impact that you see with seventh generation being here and sort of the handshake between the Burlington community and also seventh generation?
Well, I think that both directly and indirectly. I think indirectly, the kind of products that we make really don't bring any sort of burden onto our waterways. We're definitely very conscious about what goes into our products, the chemistry, the green chemistry of our products, and trying to design those in such a way that they're benign to the environment, so that when they do return back to the environment, that they're not going to have any sort of adverse impacts on that environment. In an ideal world, would it be great if we could actually create products that when they enter that environment, they become actual nutrients for that particular environment? So I think indirectly, that's kind of our overall contribution. I think locally on a much more grounded roots level, we're very connected to the community through a number of donation programs. So 10% of our profits go towards mostly, I think, almost predominantly local organizations, and they run the gamut from our community farms here in the Intervale to Planned Parenthood to giving product donations to local nonprofits and whatnot. Also, I do a number of sponsorship activities through Boys and Girls Club, all different kinds of, it's all over the board really, kind of how we're ingrained and involved in the community. And I think kind of where we're at here in Burlington, we're right down here on the waterfront, we're right downtown. We really want to have a presence in the middle of the community so that we are, a proud corporate citizen of the community.
Very good. I like that. What do you enjoy most about working here at seventh generation?
I think what I enjoy most is it's great to be able to wake up every day and not be bummed about going to work. I really enjoy the people. I really enjoy the spirit and the energy of here in the office. It's a very casual place to work. There's dogs running around. It's a very open and casual atmosphere. And I think that really breeds a lot of cooperation amongst people in all different kinds of departments. I think more than that, I think I like being part of something bigger, and it's not even something that's totally. It's like, I don't want to say something that's ineffable, but it's something that seventh generation wasn't founded just to be a green consumer packaged good company. I think we're really about, much more than that. I think we really stand for something that's, how could a business really, how can we create a business model that A, is profitable, and B, actually is for the greater good. And I think that's, what definitely drives me here every morning, when I come to work, not to mention the people. The people here are fantastic, and that makes it a special place as well.
Cool.
And and then of course I have to kind of put community on top of that, just because Burlington's a very special place, and I think Seventh Generation, along with a number of other companies, whether it be Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, Ben and Jerry's, there's definitely a lot of like-minded organizations around here that I think our collective efforts definitely have a pretty big impact in the world.
Very cool. So I'll ask you maybe just a personal question or two.
Sure.
Okay. Well, first, are you concerned with environmental or climate change, and if so or not, why?
Am I concerned with? Yeah, I think. To be honest, I think we're at a place in time in our life where we really need to act now, and I don't think, to be totally frank, I think all the things that we can do, in our daily lives, whether it be recycle the newspaper, recycle your bottles, those are all great and dandy, but on the larger scale, that's that's a drop in the bucket. We need to really collectively really do some revolutionary change. Otherwise, I think our children's children are screwed. Yeah. And I don't mean that in some dire, 2012 kind of, just how everything's going to come to an end. I just think there's going to be some serious detrimental effects, systemic effects that are going to unfold over the next, 10 to 20 years that I think are going to open our eyes to a brave new world that if we haven't acted by then, I think we're not going to be in a very happy place. So what really drives me on a daily basis is, sure, there's all these things that I can do in my everyday life to mitigate the bad and bring some positivity. But on the grander scale, for me, it's really about being part of something bigger. And that's what drove me here to Seventh Generation and Former Lives and other organizations. That's what drove me there.
I think that's wonderful. I agree 100%. So what is it, Reed, that you believe in and or stand for?
What do I stand for? I think more than anything, I think we really need to kind of change the whole paradigm of how we look at environmentalism. It sounds like one of those isms that we don't really know what it means, but I think it's really been, deeply connected to this kind of Christian Judeo guilt system where, it's like we're going to guilt people into doing good. And I think we need to, get out of that mental model and really start to look forward and bring positive change. And how do we talk about these things in a new light? How do we talk about, the opportunity that lies before us and the opportunity of globally and locally really connecting at a meta and a micro scale to really start bringing systemic change, to really start educating people about how can we all start collectively making a difference. And I'm not talking about just recycling bottles here, recycling bottles there. How can we start changing whole education paradigms? How can we start training engineers that they understand the true cost, of the consumption of the company that they're going to work at? And I think, the task is daunting, but I think it's extremely doable. And I'm a huge believer in the human spirit and positivity. And I think if we all come together and see the opportunity that lies before us, and not just the devastation, I think we can do it.